act like we didn't know what we were doing, all this shit. But I wanted to ask you, because you were talking about, oh yeah, I get paid to play, but I was like, okay, well, how many hours did you put into this? Because when you take $2 divided by 40 hours, I'm like, oh, okay, like, you got your fucking 20 cents an hour type shit.
Yeah.
So is it worth it sitting there playing all that solitaire?
Is it worth it? It passes the time. I listen to a podcast and I win a couple bucks here and there.
Okay, so there's other, like what we talk about, non-scale victories in fitness world. There are other non-monetary victories by playing, because you're able to do other shit
absolutely
while you're playing.
So like, you start off with just diamonds, and once you get 60 diamonds, you can get into like a cash tournament, and then you can get into higher cash tournaments the more cash you get in, kind of thing. So like $3 gets you into a tournament where you can win 5 and that sort of stuff. There's some people that make like $70-$80 in a weekend.
Well, so I see the ads for it where they're like, oh, you can get paid to play, but these people on the ads are talking about, we're talking about $700, $500. I'm like, how are you making that? Like, what did you get? Because they do rankings, like every couple days you win bonus cash, which you can only use to put back into the game. Yeah.
Where people are winning like $60 in their 48-hour like rankings. So like, some say you win $60 every 2 days. That's 60 or
48 hours divided by $60. Not even $1 an hour.
No. I'm talking about so $60 in 2 days. That's $180 a week ish. About $200 a week. That's not chump change just to play solitaire.
It's not, but I always break things down by the hour.
Sure. I don't know how much time they're putting in to playing this game. If they, let's say they hit big on a couple big money tournaments, and it could be in your favor. But if you don't have the money to get into those big money tournaments, then no, you're not making that $200 a week.
So the other reason I'm asking is Trivia Crack. I was playing, but they'll play you by rankings, and you're not winning real money. But I'm just like, the people that are like in the number 1, number 2 slot, you get paid trophies. Like, say if I beat you, I get 20 trophies.
Okay,
that's their pay. The people that are ahead of me, I'm just like, Jesus, man, I just played for an hour straight against 4 opponents, and literally I'll get out of a game with you, go against Jody, this person, and you've already replayed.
Yeah.
So part of me is like, well, how bad do y'all suck at trivia that y'all are already queued back up? But I'll play for about an hour because I get addicted to it. Yeah. And the trophies I'm winning per question or per match won, nowhere near what these people 1 and 2 are. So I'm always like, dude, what are you guys doing? How many games are y'all playing? And like, what life do you not have?
I can fit a lot
to be on here.
The games for solitaire are like 2-3 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about speed. You get 5 minutes. If you max out your time, it's 5 minutes.
Okay.
So, if I can win enough diamonds to get into a money tournament.
Okay.
In probably 30-45 minutes. If I hit a hot streak of getting top, sort of thing. So that's kind of where it is, like, time sort of stuff.
And this is no real money out of like your bank account? Nope. This is just rack up diamonds, and then the diamonds accrue into dollars.
Yep, correct. It's not terrible.
No.
Unless I can send out a code where both you and I can get dollars to play solitaire. Follow me at Radio Guy Austin for that code.
I'll start playing this game. I like solitaire.
Yes.
It doesn't amount to gin rummy to me, but I'll play it.
I've never played gin rummy.
It's old people. I love it. I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah. It's like Goldfish as a kid. Yeah. And then you're 5 playing Goldfish with your parents, and then after 5 you're immediately 65 playing gin rummy. I don't know that's literally what the progression of chronology is, if that's even the word.
For my family, it was always pitch. No, not playing pitch.
Never heard
10-point pitch.
Never heard.
So it's a 4-person game. Whoever you're sitting across from is your partner, and you try and that's where one of the phrase "shoot the moon" that comes from the game pitch as a thing you can do to try and get as many points as possible. Like, my grandparents love that game.
What's the premise of the game?
Each person gets a hand. You call out what suit you're going for. The points are high, low, jick, jack. So the jack on suit, the jack off of suit, the ace, the 3, which is worth 3 points. The 2 is worth points, and the king.
Kind of sort of sounds like spades,
right? So
you and I are against two other players.
Yes.
No,
so
we always
so
play
you're
spades
trying to
overseas.
Yes. So you're trying to play those cards to get those points, and then you wager how I got. I guess spades.
Like we call books.
Yeah.
Like if you and I are playing against him and Liz, you and I'd be like, oh, we got 10 books. 10 for 2s, Boston's. All that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You can't break suit until if y'all throw hearts and I don't got them, I try not to overplay him, so me and him can run the tables and things. But I used to play that all the time.
Yeah.
So it sounds similar. Hearts.
Yeah.
I always joke around like hearts is like white people cards. That's always what I called it. Yeah. Like, well, you want to play hearts? I'm like, oh, I look around, I'm like, oh, okay, it's a bunch of white people here. Yeah, but I only played hearts ever on video games. Or on the phones, never in groups of friends or people and stuff like that. Always spades.
The one that no one here knows. It's called Nerds.
No.
Everyone has their own. It's like solitaire, oddly enough, but everyone has their own deck. And there's you start off with 4 cards face down and a Nerds pile, which has 13 cards in it. And then you've got your deck over here that you're flipping 3 cards over at a time. You can only play the top card. Everyone can put an ace out. Let's say I've got an ace of diamonds in my 4 face-up cards. I put my ace out. Now anyone who has a 2 of diamonds can play on that. And the goal is to get rid of the 13 here.
Based on those 4 stacks?
Based on those out there.
Okay.
And there are nights where we'll have 8 decks of cards going at home. That was just our card game, was Nerds.
That one sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, it's the only game that I was allowed to swear at my grandparents at. My brother once called my grandma a dirty pirate hooker because she slapped down I know! She slapped down a card where he was going for and she beat him. And so, he's like, you dirty pirate hooker. We're like, it's grandma!
Yeah.
So
stupidest game I've ever seen out in Vegas was War, which we used to play in Vegas.
Really?
Yep. And if I think you and I were talking a couple podcasts ago about roulette. Like me and you could sit there if you're bored enough. We could sit there and we could make money. Just placing black bets.
Yeah.
Like money on black. Keep going, right?
Yeah.
So what you do is $5 and you beat me. $5. So now I have 10 to double up. You beat me again. Well, now you're on a streak. The dealer is. Eventually, I'm going to get on a streak, but you just keep doubling down. But I mean, it's literally like as fast. It's just card done. Card done. Whereas at least
I would lose so much money.
Well, right?
I so quickly.
Yes.
Wow.
But blackjack at least can go between 4 to 6 players at a table.
Yeah.
And then you also got the dealer who's laying, I don't know, say 2 cards at least, obviously to get blackjack, but then run 5, 6 cards depending on which cards are coming out.
Yeah.
But I'm just sitting there watching this game. I was like, man, Vegas will bet on anything, right? And sure enough, here we got War.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't do it. My buddy did at the time. He ran that one. And he lost, of course.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, that seems like the dumbest game to gamble.
It is, but you have to. This is what I try and explain to people. You have to have a bankroll, and go to the minimum tables, $1 or $5 tables. Generally, they're $5 tables, and be able to, I don't know, max bets 8, 10, 10 goes in a row. Like, how lucky are you to beat me 10 times in a row?
True.
So as long as you have the money to go 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, 320.
Yeah.
Eventually, I can reverse my luck and maybe go on a tear, and I always start back at 5. But that game is moving that fast, I don't know. So you can either lose a ton of money quick, or me and you can just sit there, drinking free, doubling our bets, and then going all the way back to $5. So it just depends. So
that's gambling tips with the Stache and Beard Show. Welcome in, motherfuckers! Pop, 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 pop.
Finger guns.
Oh man.
And finger gun words. That's all I got for y'all, motherfuckers. That's it. Still not getting in on that with y'all.
One day you will.
No,
you will.
I'll hurt myself.
You're gonna hurt yourself doing this.
Just sitting there. Yeah, you're just gonna. I'll throw a shoulder out.
True powerlifters.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah,
and that's a little cardio first thing in the morning. It's a little too much action.
You're correct. It is. Especially the high energy.
Yeah, I'm fine with high energy.
We're dueling, and it, maybe a wrist is gonna flop around, tear a ligament.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Maybe that's what happened.
That could be.
Maybe. Maybe.
Go to the doctor. Doc, my forearm really hurts.
Yeah.
What's been wrong? You've been jerking it too much? No, I've been finger gunning.
That's got to name something shitty or go to the doctor for.
Well, if you've ever seen a proctologist.
Well, yeah, but like.
You said shittier.
Yeah. God, that was terrible.
Come on now.
Worst part is you didn't catch it right away.
No, like I didn't. Like
something, but for real, something shitty to go to the doctor for? Your dog trying to kill you?
That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. What?
You didn't hear about that story?
No.
He damn near lost like 2 feet. Well, he only has 2 feet, so like the motherfucker's got like a case of feet. Like, I'll
he's just like, all right, just in case.
His fucking dog wrapped around his ankles and damn near tried to take his feet off.
Wow.
She took off running.
Oh my.
You could smell the skin burning as the rope was going around my ankle.
Yeah.
That's a fun image.
I'll show you the pictures later.
I'm good.
Got them on my phone.
It was bad, dude.
Listen, I believe you. You don't have to prove nothing to
I
me.
might even send them to you.
No, you don't have. Please don't. Oh, I'm
Group
not
chat.
like. Oh
Group chat.
no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna delete. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah,
the group
we'll
chat.
re-invite you.
Oh man.
Maybe I'll just throw them on the podcast.
Could.
Oh, I'm not what. Dang it! This is how you get the other stuff in.
That's right.
We gotta have an OnlyFans for the other.
Should we shout out our super cool tablecloths?
Yeah, look.
Provided by CTX Barbell. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got for you.
Today's show.
Yeah.
Sponsor of today's show.
The excitement in my voice as I showed you guys those because I love t-shirts and sweatshirts.
You do.
I am such a fan of making you guys t-shirts and sweatshirts.
You just never stop talking about the next T-shirt that's going to come. I know. I mean, we're still waiting on.
We are. We are. I'm like when I walked back in and I saw these, I'm like, oh, like PTSD from seeing them. So I'm really glad they're our tablecloth today. Yeah.
Just a constant reminder.
Yeah, this was a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
speaking of other things that are new at the gym,
yes,
we got a new
mono.
How about that? Yeah, show the beautiful people this new mono. It is gorgeous.
Yep.
And you want to paint it up a little bit.
Yep, we're going to do all the uprights. Everything you see in our new team colors of bronze, it's going to be painted in orange.
Okay, very cool.
But yeah. No, that was our Saturday trip, 15 hours up to Pensacola and back.
And no stops, obviously stops.
Food stops and stuff like that.
But like there wasn't anything like, oh man, I've got a chance to go here.
Nope. There's nothing on 75 and I-10 to be like, oh, haven't seen this fucking place.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so excited about that new addition. Mm-hmm. So.
That was you and Chad, and you and Chad have gone on a bit of a road trip the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
romance is growing.
It is.
It is.
So let's jump into that. How you and Chad and Tiffany and Sin all went up to Michigan.
Yep, they Chad and Tiffany, they competed. I want to say it was the Michigan States. It was.
So why do you guys go to Michigan for this meet? Like every year, right?
We missed 2020 because COVID.
Sure.
But we went 2019 and then we went this year.
Why?
So it's funny. People ask, why don't you do local meets? And sometimes it's testing you against what other states have to offer. Mm-hmm. Not too many times around our local meets are we going to have guys from Ohio and Michigan and Nebraska come down here.
Right.
Very, very rare, depending on the size of the meet. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's just nice to get out of the state and see who you stack up against in other states. Mm-hmm. And at a bigger meet like that, like people from across the nation will come to, and you kind of see, okay, what's Jersey got to offer? What's Philly? What's Nebraska? And they'll come to those meets. So that's another reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's we meet friends and such, and we like to do their meets. So Chad and Steve, he ran the meet up there. It was at his gym at a Rochester Performance. They kind of struck up a friendship from the first time we went up to Michigan in 2019. So sometimes it's also that, to go up there and support and do your meet and stuff. So like, maybe you guys in Nebraska, like all of a sudden we'll come up and do a Nebraska meet to see you guys, down the road and stuff like that. So there's that as well. But it's turned into a big meet, and it was also a qualifier potentially for APF Nationals. Mm-hmm. And down here, we have such a thick crew that competes, and so sometimes it's a way to get out of being one of the heads competing down here, and so you're, it sounds weird because like it is expensive to travel, but it's not like I have to worry about you guys worrying about handling me at the meet. Now I'm out of Michigan and now I can go up there and free up people down here. So it's a bunch of different reasons.
Yeah.
Me and Chad, we always joke because everybody, I just said it this morning too, actually to his mom. Everybody thinks we go out of state, and if you're in the crew in the gym, you know that it's not a vacation. But our friends outside that don't lift, they're like, "Oh, you're going on vacation." It's like, no, going to work. And they're like, "What do you mean?" Like, so I'm up there that whole weekend, and my main job was to make sure Chad was taken care of, and he had goals and things that me and him have been working towards. And my job is to make sure he's taken care of and focused and mentally prepared to get up there and hit his numbers. It's not like we're out seeing Michigan and
time to party,
ice fishing and all that type of shit. And then on top of that, the next day, Tiff competed on Sunday. And ended up taking best lifter out of all the females. So we're sitting there and we're getting ready for awards, and we're looking around, and I'm like, she's got this. And I was like, there's who beat her? And the only lady that was lifting more than her was a geared lady. And I'm looking around, I was like, oh, I think Tiffany's got best lifter. And sure enough, Steve, he ends up calling out the award, and it went to her. Like she had thoroughly destroyed her weight class, the other ladies in the lighter weight classes, all that stuff. Like she did amazing. So
the prep for that meet for her went phenomenally.
Her and Chad, like Chad coaches her, like everything went really well. She even said this was like, I think one of the first times like she's listened to everything that was on the program, and listened to Chad and cues and all that type of stuff, and he did an amazing job of getting her ready. So
good.
Shout out to Chad for Tiff, and obviously to Tiff for a great job as well. So
absolutely,
it was just an amazing weekend.
And Chad competed well as well.
He went off. So we had a 903 number for the squat. We've been trying to get this 900 squat for 1, 2. This is the third meet trying to get it in. It's there. The strength is there. To people who don't understand gear or why we do it or why you've been doing it in training. Day of any given Sunday or Saturday for powerlifting type of talk. If you're off half inch in your gear, man, it fucks you up. It can either send you forward, backwards, topple you, round you, whatever.
Sure.
Raw has a little more give if you're out of position. Gear, you're fucked, man. So it was just one of those days. We got him up there, and they were strict on the depth calls. I'm just like, he got red lighted on his first one. I'm like, what were you guys watching? So it was one of those. So the second one we go in and we get him down there and lighted on that because they ended up taking the bar. So put a PR up on the bench,
good
PR up on his sumo deadlift, and then total PR. So. And on top of that, qualified for XBC should it happen down here in Orlando whenever they decide to drop the date. So amazing weekend from the two of them.
Yeah, definitely.
So
and visiting Detroit always.
So you and I talked beforehand, but you seeing Detroit, like, holy cow, dude. Like it's bad. Where we stayed was real nice, Royal Oak and Rochester. So it was like, but it's like Detroit to those areas is like Orlando. Like when you live in Apopka or you live in Maitland, nobody knows those cities, so we just say Orlando, right?
Right.
So people up there are like, oh, Detroit. Everybody knows Detroit. You know, I'd never heard of Rochester outside of New York, and I never heard of Royal Oak. Type of thing. So, but you tell people Detroit, and it's like, ugh. Well, then we get up there and we got to see it on our last day, and it was kind of like, man, this is terrible. So,
but a friend of mine who works at the radio station, she transferred from Detroit down to Orlando, and we worked promotions together when we first started. And she talked about I trained her, and she asked, so if I'm ever in a situation where I don't feel comfortable, what do I do? Who do I call? And I went, well, there's not really that. We don't go to those places. Like we don't have a pop-up at in the bad areas of Orlando. And she's like, oh, that was a common occurrence. Like up in Detroit, they would sell absolutely anything, and they would send these promo girls like, hey, come on down to this part of town, and there'd be some weirdo, some people that would make her feel super uncomfortable, and she would just get in the van, lock the door, call up whoever she has to call up, and then sometimes they would just leave stuff because they're like, hey, you're in a bad spot.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell people back down here when I got here, like trying to explain it to them. They're like, oh, so like Pine Hills. I'm like, no, Pine Hills was like Beverly Hills compared to Detroit.
Right.
And they're like, Paramore.
I'm going to be 100% honest. I can walk around Pine Hills, Paramore. You know, like that.
Paramore is not even bad.
No.
What is it over there? Rio Grande.
My wife used to work down there.
Is it Marcy? It begins with an M. I've done moves over there. Mercy. Not even nowhere near as bad as Detroit.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just crazy because those are the bad areas you get told of here.
Yeah, a lot of people go like, "Oh man, you went down that way. Like, what are you doing? You got Death Wish? Like, they are not that bad.
No,
like,
not compared to Detroit, man.
Yeah.
And so I was telling you before we got started, like you have to go see it.
Yeah.
Just to like understand, it's like, man, they weren't lying. It's that bad. But and then right outside of like these torn down homes are businesses, and it's just like, who's
really?
Yeah. Like you literally go down into these neighborhoods, we'll air quote neighborhoods, and then you turn back onto the main streets, and it's like there's businesses.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we'd see like downtown Orlando on 50 and things like that. But then like you get right off the main street, and it's these neighborhoods are just like torn down homes, boarded up, look like they've been burnt. Like it's crazy. So night and day from where we stayed, and then driving around, sightseeing. But yeah, other than that, great weekend.
Good.
They put up a great performance. So good job to the two of them.
Well, we will get into how our lifts have gone over the last couple weeks.
Can't wait.
I know, you're so excited to talk about bench press, brother.
Yeah. About as excited to talk about bench press as I am to announce our sponsors.
We don't got any!
Right.
Brought to you by Finger Gun Incorporated.
I swear to God. Yeah, we'll get into our lifts on the next segment.
Absolutely. We'll be back on the Stache and Beard Show next.
Later, motherfuckers.